Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Pandemic Diary 2020. This is the show where we speak to people all around the world from all different backgrounds about their experiences of the current pandemic, what their lives were like before this hit and what they're doing now to cope and also to thrive. So today's guest, I'm really excited to announce that we have Tarinee joining us, who's an entrepreneur. She's a property developer, a wealth coach, and also an Amazon best-selling author and international speaker. So lots and lots of strings to her bow. She helps entrepreneurs, working professionals, and parents to build legacy wealth, and that's the key word. This is Tarinee. I'm also joined by our co-host, Joan. Hi, Joan Achong. And I'd also like to shout out.
I thought I was going to be out of the show.
I'd also like to shout out to Moinul, our producer, who is behind the scenes. So we don't get to see him, but he is the one putting this all together. When you see one person taking up the screen, then we're zooming out and zooming in and all of that fancy stuff, all the logos, that is Moinul. So a big shout out and a big thank you to Moinul for bringing us together.
Yeah. And at this time, we like everyone who is tuning into the show. We like you all to click, like, and share. Click, like, and share, and spread the word. You go on to your YouTube link. We got it all over social media, and it's Video Index. You tune into Video Index. You click, like, and share, and have a wonderful time.
Tarinee, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of your wonderful show.
Oh, you're so welcome. We're very lucky to have you. As I said in your intro, there's a lot of strings to your bow, lots of experience. Can you just tell our audience a little bit more about you?
As you mentioned before, I'm a developer and also a wealth coach, and alongside I'm published 3 books and also an international speaker. My main goal is to help entrepreneurs and working professionals and also parents, because I'm a single parent myself, to build their legacy wealth so that they can have more money and more time, because that's the big problem for us, that you try to make your living and somehow you have to sacrifice your time with your children and your family. So I like to help people to build their legacy wealth so that they can have more time and more money to spend with their children and able to set up and pass on the legacy to their loved one and make sure that they provide the best possible future for their family.
That's amazing. And it was the word legacy that really stood out to me, because it's about passing it down through the family, through the generations. Is that something that anyone can do?
Yes, definitely. I come from a very family-oriented background, and my parents and my grandparents always, doesn't matter how much they have, they always make sure that they provide the best, future for their children, either through their education, to inheritance. You can always do to make sure that the children have a better future than us. I think as a parents, that's what we aim for. So it's not necessary to be only the money wise. If we aim to build up the happy children, we can make sure that they will go and make people around them happy. And then they will make their family happy and people around themselves. So that's how we make the society become a better one, become a more peaceful and more supportive society.
Mm-hmm. And I noticed you're also, I'd like to let everybody know, if you look to the right of the page, you see her website, the Freedom Wealth Builder. You could contact her and find out what her organization is all about.
Thank
you can subscribe and assist. She's going to be here telling us all the tips about how you're going through this difficult time at COVID-19, how you could still continue to build wealth.
Yes.
You could still be able to build a legacy for you and for your future, for your children and future generation. I don't know why I'm being a bit tight-tongued today. I don't know what's going on with me, Emily. I think this is such a wonderful thing at this time. So Tarinee, what would your advice be
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the property building side of things, what would your advice be to people who own a portfolio, a property
Mm-hmm.
portfolio at this time? Because with the pandemic diaries, we are
Yes.
talking about how COVID-19 is affecting everyone at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Money is less available
Yes.
at this time. So how would you advise someone with a portfolio who has tenants in the building
Mm-hmm.
and the tenants, for some odd reason, as a result of the pandemic, is unable to pay their rent on time, maybe don't have the money available, can't
Mm-hmm.
access the money
Yes.
as they would normally do? What would your advice be to the property
Okay.
developing portfolio individual?
I will answer you in two sections, because I think even though I'm specialized in property investments, I've been doing property business for the past 20 years, but I think business in general are quite similar. So first, I'm going to address the business in general. This time, because we've been locked down, what we can do, they call adapt. Adapt is stand for adjust, diversify, modify your situation, and then you adapt and bring more positivity and you take charge. So at the moment, whatever business you in, you need to really reflect on your own situation. Where are you now and what need to be done? And like you mentioned before the show, that if this crisis, which I believe that is not going to be one-off, it seems like every 10th year we come into the crisis. Like in 2009, 2010, we hit economy crisis, and then another 10 years before that. So it looks like it's coming around every 10 years. And this is global crisis. But also as an individual, we also hit our own crisis, right? Maybe you break up with your family, your child's getting so ill that you need a very expensive treatment, or any other circumstance that someone that you love passed away. There's many crises in life. So when something like this happens, the best thing to do is to pause and really reflect, looking deep down inside yourself, and also on your financials and all your mental state of mind as well, where you are now, right? If you have some saving, how long would it last for you if this situation not improve and is carry on? How long would it last for you to survive and be able to pay all your bill? If you're not able to support yourself, maybe after 5 months, what can you do? What support can you get? What kind of support the government have available for you, or friend and family? What can you do? And once you pass this crisis situation, you have more breathing space. Then you're thinking, okay, I'm passing this crisis now. What can I do to make sure that my future, we're not coming back to this situation again? That's what we do. Reflect, adjust, modify, adapt, and bring only positivity, not negativity, and then take charge. Okay, so now we're going back to your question about if you were a portfolio landlord. I'm a portfolio landlord, and I think we still quite early stage, because we just coming up to the second month, the beginning of second month. First month is not too bad. I think people have their saving, so they're still able to pay their rent. But I'm not too sure about the second month, and if it's going on for another couple more months. You need to think every business or relationship is the long term, right? It's a long-term relationship. If that tenants that I hope when you recruit them to coming on, take your property, you recruit them properly, and you only bring people that pass their reference checks and decent and trustworthy to come into your home. And if they struggle financially, because most of us are anyway during this crisis, is a long-term relationship. You have to grow with them. So instead of you try to get rid of them, and now you cannot do it because UK government not allow any landlord to kick any tenants out during this crisis, which is understandable. So you need to really approach the tenants first Don't wait until they give you the notice that they cannot pay. Just, we are human being. Reach out and ask them like a friend and family. Reach out and say, how are you coping? How's your family doing? Right? We are human beings. We should connect in the personal, in a human goodwill relationship level. So you reach out to your tenants, said, how are you doing? Are you all right coping with your bill, being locked down with the children and things? And they're probably coming and saying that, I might be a bit struggle next month. This month I'm all right. I might be a bit struggle next month. Then you start negotiate. You might saying, okay, I understand. Maybe you pay, 20% less. Maybe you give that 20% less as a goodwill. Or you can say, don't worry, instead of £500 per month, you can pay me £400 per month. And then we keep that outstanding until you're able to pay. Then you pay a little bit extra, maybe £20 a month extra. Then everyone happy. And you also win them as a long-term customer as well, that you are able and you're willing to work and accommodate them. Good people is hard to come by. Same like tenants. Ideally, you want to have, most of my tenants are long term. They are there like 7 years, 10 years. They treat my house like their own house. That is the best position you are in, because they're proud. They look after your house.
This leads me to the next question. What would you think would happen in future with rent and cost of property? Would it go up or go down, seeing that we're going through this time of financial difficulty? Do you think it affect the housing prices, the housing market?
I think, who knows, right? Because at the moment, before this lockdown, now I'm quite active in commercial property. And before this crash, this lockdown, everyone's so active in auction. There's many transactions and they're able to fetch the price much higher than what they're asking for. And then now the lockdown coming in, and as you mentioned before, in residential, if you are council tenant, it's not too bad because the government still carry on supporting you. But if you are self-employed, the government saying that, yes, maybe some help, but you have to qualify as a self-employed. And also you don't know how much will you get, how long would you get that support. So everything is still unknown, is still uncertain. And people don't know. Yes. And on commercial, I have many investor friends that they have 6-7 commercial retail shop, and all of them are closed down now because they're not able to open it. And then therefore they're not able to pay the rent. So as the investor, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of hearsay saying that all these commercial property, they might be they might be forced their hand to sell a lot more things on the stock, or people that's struggling, to cope during this COVID-19. They might thinking, I have to sell my house now because I build up quite a lot of credit card debt or anything. So it's quite an unknown thing whether the house price will gone up or we might have another crash, because then, like in a commercial property market, it will take a long time for for the landlord to recoup their money, if ever, and then it's going to be empty for a long time. And then how long the economy going to recover everything? I think is still uncertainty whether it's going to go up or go down. But anyway, any investment you should aim as a long term. Because if you trading something in a quick, you against to a lot of unknown elements that you cannot control of, like this COVID-19. Whoever thought of this, that the whole world will shut down? It's like someone mentioned to me before, this is like a movie, right? It's like Independence Day. We never expect this sort of thing would happen ever in our lifetime.
Absolutely. And I think probably with the mindset that you've demonstrated to us that you've got, if everyone, actually took that on board, we would be able to muddle our way through this. You
Yes.
spoke about adapting and modifying, and even though some things are completely unknown, we've just got to keep trying to adapt. And that's one thing, is being flexible as well, isn't it? Have there been times in your life where things have, you know, gone completely in an unexpected way and you've had to really start again?
Yeah, definitely. Many times. When I first graduate, my first job, I worked as a manager in McDonald's for 4 years, and then I working a manager in Sainsbury's for another 4 years, and then I hit my middle life crisis. I just find myself searching my own soul, and I love dogs. So I think, what can I do to fit with my passion? So I train myself. I go out, get trained, and become a dog groomer. Can you believe that? So I become a dog groomer, and I open a dog groomer salon in Chelsea, and I have that for 8 years. And then, like what I said, I experienced it firsthand, just about my business, my doggy business, start improve. I hit another 2008, 2009, where all the economy crashed. So dog and cat grooming service is become a luxury, which no one can afford to. Even in Chelsea area, you thought that people can afford. No, they not. So obviously you need to look good, but your dog is in your house. No one going to see that, right? So instead of they have their dog groom every a month or two, they bring them in like every 6 months, and the dog become like a bear. It's not a dog anymore, right? So back then I have to readjust myself, and this is very important key that I learned. Sometimes what you love to do, what your passion on, is not necessary that is going to transferable to be your business. It might be all right, but I read a book, one called, I'm jumping around, one called E-Myth Project. And after I closed that doggy business down, I read this book and I think, oh my gosh, why didn't I found this book before? Because it's like a Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You have, basically, you buy yourself a job. And a lot of people doing that when they hit their crisis, they don't want to work for anyone anymore. They come out and they open their own business, right? But the business is not viable, because we don't know how to evaluate that. Is this business is workable? Is this profitable? Is this sustainable? Can you expand it? We don't think that, do we? We just thinking, I'm had enough for people tell me what to do. I want to open up my own business, and you jump in, and you end up I working 6 days a week in my doggy parlor, and I stand, and on by Saturday afternoon, I'm legless. I couldn't walk anymore. It just flat out. And the money coming in is not that great when you have to pay all your expense, pay your shop, your business rate and everything. So you end up buying yourself a job, which no one gonna pay you sick pay, holiday pay, nothing. You on your own. So know what I know now.
The costs on your own.
Yes.
I like that lesson you just told us. And what is really interesting is to know that even though we're in this period of COVID-19, we could sit back and evaluate property owners, wealth portfolio owners, people who are on low incomes, who are on benefits. They could sit back and evaluate. It gives them time to evaluate and think through things. Like you giving us a wonderful example about the doggy parlor in Chelsea. And that helps you to see, like, wow, I'm reflecting. I love the dog, but you know what? It should have been maybe for a 5-year project and change. Right out and stop. Give yourself a few years instead of going and then feeling at a loss when a crisis occurs. Now, I'd like to take this time to thank our wonderful producer, Moinul, for putting up our show. Moinul, Hossain Mukul. He has been directing behind the scenes and producing the show and bringing us all here together. The show wouldn't be nothing without him. That's my little big brother. I tell him he's like a little big brother. He irritates the deal out of me, but you still have to love him. And I told him, you know what? your wife has done a really good job on you. She's been his rock, and I'm so happy he's brought this show together. I want
Thank you.
everybody now at this time to please like, tick, share. We want to see your comments. Tarinee is here. She'll answer questions. If you have any worries about your property, the valuation, the tenants, being able to pay and not being able to pay, she's all here to help you. Go to her website, Freedom Wealth Builder, subscribe, and she'll enlighten you as ways to build family legacy, wealth legacy, even though we're going through a hard time in this financial crisis during the COVID-19. Here's her website to the right of the page. Please feel free to log in and subscribe. Please feel free to make your comments. We are welcoming comments. We will read your comments when you put it across, and we'll do our best. And Tarinee will do her best to answer these questions for you.
Definitely. Asking me anything. I might not know all the answer, but I think the purpose of we are here, we just need to connect. And I think every crisis, how are we going to get over it? We get through it by being part of community. We have to come together. You're not by yourself. You know, everyone go through it together, and we all suffer at our own level.
Sorry, and it's also important to ask. If you don't know, you think you're in a trap, ask for help. Ask for assistance. You're failing in your financial life, ask for help and assistance. And now I know we're talking a lot about finances, but there's other aspects to Tarinee, which I'd like her to address. She's also the owner and runs a single parent support group on a voluntary basis. Tarinee, how did you get into starting up a group for single parents? I know you're a single parent yourself, but what brought it on that you wanted to start up a single parent support group?
I become single parents 5 years ago when we're going to go to deep level today. When I become single mom 5 years ago, that's because of I seeing my mom pass in front of me. So when you see someone really close to you that you love dearly pass in front of you, is you you shock, right? You see someone breathe in, and then they
get a bit emotional.
Oh gosh, and they didn't breathe out. You know, when I see my mom breathe in, and I know the second that she's going to go, and she knew. I don't know how spiritual you are. I am a very spiritual person. My mom knew exactly. She been ill. She have the stomach cancer for the past 18 months. So when my sister called me saying, you need to come quick, mom going to pass, I rush back to Thailand. And then when I go there, she's already unconscious. So when I get there, I holding her hand. I said, Mom, I'm here. And I sense it that she knew that I'm there with her, right? And then we have all our family, my brother, my sister, everyone with us, niece and nephew, everyone with us. Somehow, even she unconscious, I knew that she knew what she doing. She wait until 2 o'clock in the morning when everyone already fell asleep. Only me with her. And throughout the day, I holding her hand and I said, Mom, thank you for everything that you done for us. It's time for you to rest now. Thank you. Because of you, you helping bring us. That's what I'm talking about, legacy. You bring everyone up, and we are able to looking after ourselves. So thank you so much for all your hard work. Now it's time for you to rest. I'm so grateful for your help, and thank you. And I keep saying that. And I knew my mom is very stubborn person because I'm very super stubborn myself. So it take her a long time until 2 o'clock in the morning when everyone fell to sleep. And I knew, I saw her tears start coming down, you know. And I'm like, oh, something going to happen. And then she breathed in, and then she didn't breathe out. And I'm like, where is she going? Where's my mom? Where are you going? And that second, I was shocked. I was shocked and I thinking, what's just happening? The whole world stands still for a couple seconds. I like, oh my God, you know what just happened? And I wake up, or my brother, sister said, wake up now, mom passed. And she actually passed on a Mother Day.
Oh, Mothering Sunday.
Yeah, on a Mother Day. And what happened in Thailand, the Mother Day, you're not allowed to have the funeral and things like that because it's crashed with the national days. So we have to keep her body in the temple for 7 days. And this is quite dark. In Thai tradition, in Buddhist tradition, you leave the body out in a coffin for all the relatives to come visit you from all over the world. And you know, doesn't matter how much you love your parents, your children, when people die, the body start to deform, right? Start to decompose. Yeah. And then the smell start coming in and all that. You're like, oh my God, what, right? Am I look good? Am I not look good? This is all front. But when you die, it's nothing to it, isn't it? It's nothing to it. And what crazy about the Thai funeral thing also, after we cremated her in UK, they will give you a box, right, to have all these ashes. In Thailand, we have to collect all the ashes ourselves.
Yes.
And the monk give you the box with the big, all the ashes. We have to use our hand to go through all these ashes. And what happened is, what do we find? I found her teeth and bone in that bucket. And that's really shocked me, because you feel like, oh my God, this is what left of my mom. What are we, crazy about? Love me, not rich, poor, and all this. We fast on about a lot of things that is not really necessary, right?
Important or necessary, yes.
It's not important. So when I get back to UK, and I going, my ex-partner, we've been out for like 12 years. We have 2 young children, 2 young boys. But in every relationship, I think you can say that you knew a lot of things when it's gone wrong before the moment that it's gone wrong, right? You can see it happening before. And we've been each like hell from year 7, year 10, whatever year, right? So when they come back, I realized that life is too short. I seeing it in front of my eyes. Life is too short to do something or be with someone that doesn't make you happy. So when they come back, and I scared, I'm so scared, because I'm by myself in UK. I have 2 young children. I have portfolio or property. I have a lot of tenants rely on me, right, to give them shelter, to accommodate them. And there are many business that I'm involved with. I'm scared that, gosh, how am I going to cope by myself in whole strange world? But then I tell myself, it can't be worse. When you hit the rock bottom, it can't be worse.
The only way is up.
Exactly. But then the mental stage, it took me 4 years to find my own happiness again and stop being resentful and angry and blaming and all that. That's what I wrote, the Single Mom and Happy book. And because of that, I feel that I hear many stories that people eventually when relationship break down, eventually you get over it. But do you really get over it? A lot of people still have a damage from their past relationship. And who suffer from that is your children that suffer for that. They know everything, right? They might not tell, but they sense the energy.
They see things what you're not looking at.
Exactly. And from what I see, do you know now statistic, more than 40% of relationship or marriage break down. But do you know more than 70% of second relationship break down?
Yes.
What does it mean?
I went through my divorce, and I had so much hang-ups, and I was only married for 1 year, 1 week, 3 days, and it was I divorced as a result of domestic violence, and I was petrified to even date again.
Yes.
I remember one of my friends who actually works at the Priory Clinic. He basically had to give me a kick up the behind. He said, "Get out there, and you're going and dress up, and you're going. I don't want to hear anything." He had to give me tough love because I didn't want anybody to even look at me and say, "Hi, Joan, how you doing? I'd like to take you out on a date." I would go into a panic attack.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I would go into, so you're traumatized. And you've got children, the children will see that fear and uncertainty.
Yes, exactly.
And so therefore, it's not only the divorce, it's the adjusting after divorce.
Yeah.
We just had a comment from one of our viewers saying, very sad story, and they're thanking you for sharing it with them. You know, but
you're welcome. You're welcome.
After the sadness, what happened after the sadness? When did the light clicked back into your head again?
No, that's because of that. So I feel that there's a lot of, you know, more than half of the school class now, children come from single parents family, right? And what I feel that even though my mom and dad, but they are old generation, they stay together until they pass. Even though they love and they have a good relationship or not, maybe not, right? But then my ex-partner come from the broken relationship as well. And I feel that, oh my God, this is become a pattern now. And I don't want my children to grow up and thinking that all relationship going to turn up like their mom and dad been experienced. I don't want them to grow up and have a bad relationship. I want them to grow up to be a happy children, have a happy family, and build up a happy life for themselves. So I think, no, the cycle need to stop now. And I knew that we need, you know, a struggle is difficult enough to be a parent, let alone doing everything by yourself. So I think a lot of people need help, and someone have to step up, right? Everyone think, oh, you should do this. Someone have to step up. We always know something that we can share.
Can I ask you something? What are the names of the books that you've published? Where can people buy them?
It's called Single Mama and Happy, and it's also on Amazon.
What's the other two books you said you've published?
Yes, we have the first book. The first book, thank you for your producer. The first book is called The Landlord Success Guide. This one is quite an easy book. It tells you, show all the screenshot, how to do from recruiting the proper tenants, how to go through all the process to make sure that you bring the right person into your property and what you need to do if they not pay and all that. So it's quite a practical book. And the second book that I wrote is called Happiness, Health and Wealth. Yes, you can do it all, but not at the same time, right? You have to prioritize. You have to plan. You have to plan what you want to achieve and working toward it. And then the last book is called Single Mom and Happy, how to build your world after, you know, you break down relationship and become happy again.
Oh, this is so wonderful. Viewers, you could go on Amazon, order those books. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now, I'm taking you right back to the single parent support group. How often do you meet, and what are some of the what are some of the activities? Because I'm not a single parent, but hey, I might end up dating a single parent, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
How do I go about meeting the right person if I'm a single parent? What advice would you have for me if I were to meet a single parent?
For me, because we're not young anymore, right? It's same with the business and relationship, same thing. What do you want to get out of it? I always asking, I think I asking you before the show as well. What do you want? Whatever things you do, what do you want to get out of it? If you want to, you know, go and have fun, have a date, have some companies, entertainments, go for it. You can go on your Tinder or any, dating app, go for it. But for me, I'm looking for the one. I'm looking for someone that's going to go and share the ice cream when I'm like 80 years old and share my fish and chips and holding my hand. I want someone to be with me literally, through thick and thin. And those relationships take time. And, like you're talking about menopause, you're talking about wrinkle, this will go. I want to find someone that beautiful from inside. Outside, okay, I can adapt to it. Yes, from the inside, right? So this take time because a lot of people are quite skeptic and suspicious, right? You say, oh, hello, how are you doing? Like, what you want from me? So we need to like open up, and community or networking events are quite good. You have meetup.com that you can go and meet the new people, or Eventbrite. In Single Parents Hub, we also have a Single Parent Hub, Single Parents Facebook group, and also on Facebook page. And we also have a WhatsApp group as well. And sometimes my members said, T, can you introduce me to that girl, that lady? I said, that's the wrong way to do, right? Or you go in contact people on Messenger or to Facebook out of the blue. They would think you are creepy, right? If you, I tell man, this is the tip for you. Woman, I don't know in general or not, but I speak for myself. I want to see men with brain, with attitude, with their own belief and value. And you need to show that, because I don't looking. I'm quite all right myself. I can look after myself, especially with single parents. They are, they are independent. They can look after themselves. So you don't need to dangling or your carrot. We have all that, right? So I like to see someone that have their own value. So if you comment on, oh, I'm support the NHS because they are working so hard, they sacrifice themselves for the whole, universe to look after and make sure everyone's safe. Maybe if you comment on that, show people who you really are and what you stand on. And when you make a conversation to someone, they're like, okay, he's quite a decent person. He has something to say, right? So we not only rely on this front value that is soon will go. And we not always look like this, do we?
Joan? That's true. I will look like this in the next 5-10 years. So I gotta land it now before this phase. But when it fades, you have to have character and different things going for you. You have to have content. You've got to have some sort of thing that will prolong and something that is enduring. Like I like that, because I would like to have what my parents had till death us do part. And we understand the parent and the different dynamics going on in the household. But at the moment, we've got some individuals who are going through divorces, and they are still in the home with that partner. This is going to be very trying for them. And they said spousal abuse has risen by 300%.
Yes, you mentioned.
And I'm wondering, apart from the spousal abuse, what about people trying to meet new people at this time, going through certain things, like the pandemic? We have dating apps, but how much people will be able to be dating? They'll only be able to see someone in virtual reality at this time. So I don't know. How does that work? How does dating work? I know you're not an expert on dating at this time, but when you were talking, what you're saying, I was like, wow, what if I get caught in a situation where I'm with someone I'm divorcing? What if I'm wanting to date someone who is a single parent? Because I'm a mature adult, and most people I know, they do have baggage. They say baggage. And sometimes it's wrong to say baggage. Sometimes they've just got other things going on in their lives, and they will inherit those things in relationships. With single parents going through these sort of crises, what would you think? I'm sorry, my hay fever and my nose is itching me. I'm sorry. But what sort of advice, like with a single parent group, would you give to people trying to date at this time? Like bearing in mind all these things are going on.
Mm.
You know?
I going back to the long-term vision rather than the quick snap thing, because you've been inbound in the house anyways, not much thing you can do physically. For me, it took me 4 years, seriously, 4 years to working on myself to know who is really, I am, who you really are, what you stand on, what you love, what you not tolerate with. I think it's the best time to really know yourself, and happiness is within. I might sound a bit floppy, but happiness is within. You need to find and become happy yourself first. And when you are happy yourself, you kind of have your aura. When you go out, you smiley, and people like, I don't know what, but I like to know you more because I want to have the part of your happiness. But you can see a lot of people going out dating. Maybe they feel vulnerable because they've been with their relationship for so long, and somehow now they by themselves, and they feel that I need something to hold on because otherwise I cannot function. And they keep jumping to another relationship without getting to know themselves first. Why are we keep buying the same shirt all the time when it's not really fit us? All the dress and everything in the wardrobe is look quite similar. Because we're going to our habit, and sometimes that habit might not be good for you. It might not fit all your shape, perfectly. So spend more time to looking at your, who you really are, getting to know yourself, and find the happiness for your own self. And that, I don't like all these apps. I don't know what all these dating sites, because for me, I want to getting to know persons. So maybe old tradition way, ask people for introductions because they know who you are, they know the other side. Maybe that screenshot the time waster, or going to the community. I always tell my members, be yourself, build up the friendship first, because that's going to make it last. If you go purely on the physical attraction, once you done it, it's nothing there to go on about, and then it's going to collapse. And how many times would you like to go to that hoop again? So working on yourself, find your own happiness, and then you attract more happiness to you, and people that you attract with will be happy person himself, because it's like a law of attraction. If you unhappy, angry person, you attract the angry and unhappy person to your life.
I completely agree with that. I had a feeling, Tarinee, that you would mention the law of attraction. I can just, yes. I can get that sense from you. I'm very much into that myself. And I believe, what we think we will become. Yes. And you mentioned about taking time to reflect on yourself and getting to know yourself. And some of us are lucky at the moment to be at home and to have more free time and be able to do this. I'm just wondering how life has actually changed for you. You're a business owner, you've got your single parents hub, you've got your Freedom Wealth Builder, award-winning author, all of these things. How have you been affected by COVID-19?
For me, it's two paths. Mentally, it's quite challenging because I'm quite similar to Joan. I'm the go-getter. I'm very hyper person. I get up in the morning, like what need to be done? I want it done yesterday, not now, but yesterday. I'm really restless person. So it's quite challenging, especially when you are homeschooling your children. It's impossible task to try to do homeschooling for your children because you're not a teacher yourself. So that add more of the frustration. So I have to manage that and, make sure that this is the theory things. I have to make sure that I schedule my time saying, okay, in the morning, I would spend time to help my children with their homeschooling, and then maybe give them free time. And then I focus on my own business. But in terms of finance and how it affects my business, as I said, I'm not too bad last month because all the tenants are able to pay their rent, but I'm not too sure about this month. So I'm start connecting with them and see how they're getting on. Is there any way that we can reduce the rent and then give them more rent payments after or something like that? And also in terms of investments, because now we've been locked in. So with the property viewing, that you can't go out to view the physical property, and all the virtual video that show you cannot invest something that you not go to see yourself. So that is too risky. Even though they show the video, but you notice that if they pass the dam or anything, they're going so fast, and you're like, whoa, what is this?
Wait, what's that mold on the wall there?
Exactly, like all these dam, they like, and you're like, what is this? So you cannot make decision. Anyway, when you make any decision, you should make decision based on your own rational, right? Your logical, not based on your own emotional. Like you like it, oh, this guy looks so handsome and yummy, and then you jump on it without knowing what is his background. Exactly. So make decision more on the rational side rather than use your emotional side. And
I'm getting a message from Norman saying, hi, ladies. Hi, Norman. Thank you for joining in.
Hi, Norman.
Hello.
Hi, Norman. Thanks for watching. Go on, Tarinee. I'm enjoying what you just said. Go on. Don't stop.
I forgot now what I'm talking about.
We're talking about the relationship, and like the house, you're liking the house after a relationship. With us women, you have to not just look at the external, and men as well. Don't look at the external. You have to look what's going on inside of that house. What's going on inside of what's hosting the package. What's going on inside of it.
Exactly. And also for me now, it's like you saying, even through this crisis, is the blessing in disguise. Why? Because now we are paused still. It's time to reflect, and learning is great. And even though we are social distant, not really, connected together, how can we come here together, right? I never knew you two to get, before. So we actually much more connected than we
ever were.
Yeah, exactly. So keep that, and also work on your connection. Every business or relationship is depend on how strong relationship you have with that person. Either it's going to be your new potential Mr. Right, or your next investor, next tenant. Build up and strengthen that relationship. Give them a call and see how they are. And you find that even through in the back of the business, it's not all about the business. Even in the property, it's not brick and mortar. It's always a personal business. People only do business with someone that they like. First, they have to like you, and then they have to trust you before they're talking about something else. And never aim to do anything upfront, because you have to win the person in front of you first, right? Before they refer you to someone, maybe second, third down the line, that you might have your proper contact for business or with something else. It's like you never know, Joan. You met someone, you're making a friend, and they like you so much and said, oh, hang on. I knew one of my friends, he's bachelor. He's a very nice, decent person. I'd like to introduce you to him. Here we go. You find your perfect man.
I'm not going to say no to that. I'm not going to say no to that.
You never know, Joan. Something might happen through this show.
Exactly.
So, Tarinee, you've mentioned the word connection a lot.
Yes.
And connection to do with business and also relationships. Would you say connection is key to
it is.
Have that success?
It is. You probably heard of it before. If you want to go far, what do you say? I can't remember. So basically, you need the team, you need people around you, because you cannot, you can only go so far by yourself. But if you want to go big, do something very successful and meaningful, you need a team with you. You cannot do things by yourself. And teamwork connection is the most crucial thing in business, and also in relationship, in every angle of your life. In relationship, you need to have, someone that care for your children, looking after everything. It's not by yourself. Same with business. I cannot go and invest in a successful investments by myself. I need to have the architecture with me. The architect, I need to have a planner, I need to have the mortgage broker, I need to have solicitor, I need to have investor. There are many people involved to make sure that you are successful in whatever thing that you do. So connection is the key.
What can we be doing right now to improve on those connections and actually to build this wealth? Obviously, you're a specialist in wealth building and legacy wealth. What can we be doing right now during this pandemic to actually try and build on that?
Okay.
And you've got to do it in 1 minute because we got to shut off soon.
Okay.
We're coming to the end.
I'll ask you before, you think it's not what you know, it's who you know. Now, that's not correct anymore. It's not what you know, it's not who you know, it's who know you. So like what you're doing now, you're showing the world that who you are and what you stand for, right? So you need to, social media is a great place to be there and either on post or video, do everything, showing who you are, what you stand for, what you're looking for, and who you like to team up with. Because there's no mind guessing. Nobody know who you are, what you want, what you're going to do. You have to shout it out loud and tell people. That's how you build business. And people will come to connect with you if your goal, your objective are in line with what they plan to do.
Do you know what? I've been writing down notes because you're teaching us so much, and I'm like trying to get everything down.
Thank you.
I really wish that we had longer to talk to you as well, because I feel like there's so much more that we can learn. And what's really stood out to me there was about you saying that you need a team.
Yes.
For me, I've always been so independent, and I'm now wondering, trying to start a business myself, is that holding me back? Because I'm trying to do everything myself. I don't really want to share my ideas with other people because they might nick them. And, but actually, do I need to be more out there, sharing it with the world and actually inviting people in?
Yes.
I'd like to answer that. Yes, Emily, you do need to share. But like Tarinee was saying, you have to build a relationship with someone who you could trust to share that information with.
Yes.
I was doing a lot of things like yourself. I was doing a lot of things by myself. And until I still have some of the bad habits, I want to do things fast and you don't trust other people to do anything. And you get into that panicky, stressed out mode. You have to calm down and you have to ask for help. And it's not to say you begging. You are asking to partner with someone. You are asking, when you say a partnership, someone who have like-minded trends, tendencies, thought processes, and sometimes getting involved with other people, bringing them into your inner circle to help with that. You invite people who could take you to the next level. You alone only know the amount of people you know. But Tarinee, myself, we have a wealth of other people who we could access, who could assess you and who could help you. And you might be, wow, you meeting me could be a blessing in disguise. And I know me meeting you is a blessing in disguise. And likewise with Tarinee and the entire audience who is looking at us at this moment. But we have got to go. This talk, time up. Goodbye. Be safe. Thank you, everyone on the show today. And thank you for everyone who's tuned in. And we are going on and on. Love you guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you.
Be safe, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Tarinee. You've been great.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome.